Everything you want from life seems like it's a million miles away because you can't even stick to a basic training plan for long enough to actually see any results. You don't even have a daily routine established. You're breaking promises to yourself on a daily basis. Whether you realise it or not, it is having an impact on your subconscious mind. Falling off all the time and being inconsistent in any area of life will guarantee that whatever you're working towards will not come to fruition. That is just a fact. Inconsistency will kill all dreams, hopes, and ambition. You cannot be someone who is consistently inconsistent. You can't keep falling off. This is a cycle that you must get out of. Most people in this scenario end up changing the goal to cater to themselves, to cater to who they are as a person, which is someone that cannot keep a promise to themselves. So they have this ambitious goal and then they reduce it because they don't believe that they can achieve that. That is the exact opposite of what you need to do. If anything, you need to make the goal more ambitious and then change who you are as a person to make sure that you can achieve it, because you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. There's two parts to goals. The goal and the outcome, which is one. The other part is you and the work that needs to be put in. Don't think of the work that needs to be put in as simply a quantity measurable. Think quality as well. How effective you are as an individual. That determines whether you can achieve the goal or not. It's not about the amount of work you put in. That plays a part 100%, but it's also about the quality. And the quality is not just the work that is being put in, but how well and how efficient you can complete the work. Quality is down to you and how you operate. Constantly falling off and having to restart a process is such a fucking loser cycle to be stuck in. And it happens to all of us. It's happened to me in the past. And the cycle goes exactly like this. Your setup is incorrect from the get-go. It doesn't give you quick, fast wins. You can't stick to it, and you don't do it long enough to actually see any results. You end up falling off because of that. You regress in the period that you've fallen off from. You waste so much time in that period, and then you decide to pick it back up. When you pick it back up, the first chunk of that is just getting back to the point that you fell off from. And that is just a repeatable cycle where it wasn't fruitful in the beginning. Now you're having to pick it back up, and now you've got to start the cycle all over again with a bullshit strategy that doesn't even work. That's demoralizing. And it's not a surprise when you look at it that way that it keeps happening. It is a cycle. And when this happens, you lose trust in yourself subconsciously. You've fallen off again. You might ignore it. You might not really process what's happening, but you lose trust in yourself as an individual. You don't even believe that you can do it. You don't even believe that you can get back on after falling off. So you put yourself down. Your self-talk is all negative, and your subconscious mind is telling you that you can't do it. You know in the back of your mind, I'm going to fall off again at some point. How are you ever going to succeed in that cycle? You can't. It's impossible. You must break out of that. You must break out of that. There's many reasons why you actually fall off in the first place. And I think one of the big contributors to this is having such a poor strategy from the get-go that you don't even get any results from a small chunk of time. And you should get some wins, some hard, fast wins under your belt to know that what you're doing works. And when you have a poor strategy, you don't get those hard, fast wins. So you put in the work in, you're trying to get back on the horse, back on the wagon, and you see nothing in return, even in the 4 to 6 weeks that you actually jump back on. So there's no direct evidence in your mind that this is working, and it makes it harder to turn up on a daily basis. The system that you've built and the strategy that you're working under doesn't fit you and your life. You haven't taken the time to think, right, how can I integrate this into a lifestyle that will make this sustainable? You've just thrown something together completely randomly. You haven't really thought about how all of the pieces glue together, which makes it unsustainable. And when it's unsustainable, you will not stick to it. Sustainability creates consistency, and consistency is the only thing that will get you a result. And that's not just fitness, that's any area of life. You must have the consistency. In order to have consistency, you must have sustainability. That's why you need to integrate it It's part of a lifestyle. One that suits you, created for you, not just something you've got off the internet, something random. It has to be crafted and carefully created to be designed to fit your goal, but also your life. That's the only way to get sustainability. Not having any of these things creates a subconscious image that you don't know what you're doing. Your ego is stopping you from admitting that. And when the ego gets involved, it's very hard to think clearly and think rationally. It's all right, it's just my genetics, it's just this, it's just that. You just come up with bullshit excuses. The fix is very simple. It starts with a strong why. You need a very strong why to turn up every single day and tick the boxes. Because that is what you need to do. You need to turn up every single day and tick the boxes. You need to execute. That is consistency. We are all subject to going through a period or having days or having weeks where we don't want to turn up and do the work. It happens to me all the time. It happens on my fitness journey. It happens in my business. I don't want to work all the time. So how do you navigate that? How do you stay consistent on those days? A strong why. You need to get very fucking clear on why you're doing what you're doing. Here's a perfect example of a weak and a strong why. Someone says they want to get in shape. Okay, cool. Why do you want to get in shape? Well, I've got a holiday coming up this summer and, I'd want to look a little bit better around the pool, a bit more confident with my top off. Okay, cool. I get it. Why? Well, I don't really like how I look at the minute. I used to look better than this. I've kind of let myself go a little bit. It does bother me. That makes sense. Why? Why does it bother you? Well, someone's made a comment recently, one of my mates, and he were only joking, but, it did actually affect me. I went away from that and I thought about it for the next week. Why? Well, I am actually very unhappy with how I look and I'm just burying that. I walk into a room and I haven't got that confidence that I used to have. I turn up to meetings at work or I meet new people socially and I don't feel like I've got that edge. All of a sudden you've turned a very weak why into a very strong why. The answers are within. That's actually called the why model. So think of why you want to do something, add another why. Ask yourself why. Once you arrive at that answer, ask yourself why again. Keep going down that path and you will come up with a very strong why. This is what will get you through on the days where you don't want to put the work in, and you will do it anyway, and that's what you need because you have to have the consistency. Now, the system that you're operating under or the way that you package this up in a strategy has to work. If you don't know what you're doing, then you need help. Drop your ego. Just drop your ego. The system that you are working under has to be effective and it has to work. So you can stop thinking about the system and you can just execute. If you're constantly thinking, I need to change this day, I need to change my nutrition strategy, I'm not really sure if this works. Every week you're bouncing around and you're changing what you're doing. That's not going to work. There has to be consistency in the plan that way as well. You need a bulletproof strategy so you can just execute. You just turn up and you tick the boxes and you know it's going to work. There shouldn't be any guesswork within what you're looking at. Right, this is what needs to be done this week. I'm not really sure if this is going to work, but I'm just going to do it anyway. You don't operate with confidence. You're always questioning what you're doing. You don't need or want that. You can't have that. You just need to execute. That's why you need a system that works and a strategy that is bulletproof and will work. If you don't know how to do that, just fucking reach out and get some help. Allow other people to help you and take you on this journey. It's the fastest way to success and progress, real progress. Getting an elite result does take time. You have to stick it out to see or receive the elite result and you have to put the work in. But you also need to get some quick, fast wins. This is easily done on the mindset side of things and how you operate. Cleaning up your routine, sorting out your habits, doing some reflection and doing some journaling. That will make you feel on cloud 9 immediately. That's a quick, fast win. Right, okay, this is different this time. Last time there was too much guesswork. I didn't really know what I was doing. I feel so much clearer and I'm operating with so much more clarity and confidence. In week 1, I know this is different now. That's a fast, hard win. That's going to spur you on as well. That's the system. All of this impacts your subconscious mind positively. You imagine that. Establishing a very strong why, having a system that you know is going to work and you can just execute. You don't have to think about it all the time and question it, and getting some quick, fast wins. You're programming your mind subconsciously to go, right, this is working now. I'm on the right path. I'm going to stick at this. Inside my team, I've created a daily momentum blueprint called the FP7. 7 daily habits that I follow myself and I get my clients to follow that keep them aligned and keep the momentum building every single day, even if they don't feel like they're making loads of progress. Because real progress, physique and performance wise, is slow. That is just like, you can't cheat human biology. It takes time. But you need to build momentum on a daily basis. When you know how to broaden your horizons and look for progress in different ways, which is where the mindset side comes in, and knowing what to look for and knowing what to work on, you can get progress very, very quickly in that way. Now, the compounding effect of doing that is it keeps you consistent and you know you're on the right path. So you're going to stick to it. Now, the FP7 also serves as course correction on a daily basis. The easiest way to think about course correction and understand why it's so important is to think about the fastest point from A to B, which is a straight line. Now you imagine you've got A here, this is where you are, and B here. This is where you want to be. The fastest point from A to B is a straight line. Every day, challenges and obstacles and friction will be thrown your way. That's just life. This is the ideal path that you want to be on, and this is the actual path of life. As you move from A to B, things will be thrown your way, and you will veer off course ever so slightly. Now that's alright day 1, day 2 when it happens, but if it continually happens, you end up over here. You're nowhere near where you want to be. You need course correction to bring you back. The FP7 and the habits that we've set up and designed to build momentum daily course correct for you on a daily basis. So every time you veer off, even if you veer off every single day, you come off, course correct. You come off, course correct. You come off, course correct. And that is how you get from A to B in the quickest fashion possible. The FP7 keeps you aligned and anchored to the process on a daily basis. You will understand the role that all of the small inputs play on getting you from A to B when you're considering them on a daily basis and you're thinking about them. Habits are so powerful, both positively and negatively. If you're following a set of bad habits on a daily basis, it is going to keep you moving away from the end destination. It's going to kill your momentum. It's going to program your subconscious mind to tell you that you are failing, and that's not what you want. You need good, powerful habits. That is what the FP7 is. The individual habits themselves have benefit, but there is even more benefit in doing them and practicing them on a daily basis. That's the power. Keeping your word to yourself, you program the subconscious mind in that way. Staying true to your word, ticking the boxes, being consistent. If you don't have a system like that in place, you will veer off course drastically, and before you know it, the goal is nowhere in sight. I've added a WhatsApp link in the description of this video. Send me a message saying daily momentum and I will send you a voice note and I will run you through all 7 habits and how to apply them. The day that you implement these, which should be as soon as possible, you will feel like you have so much more clarity and so much more confidence in what you're doing, even though the plan hasn't changed, even though the goal hasn't changed, even though one day has passed, because they keep you anchored, they keep you aligned. Your energy towards your situation will completely change. If you're the type of guy that makes it to the end of a personal development video like this, when someone's offering you free help and you do nothing about it, you are the problem. You need to look internally, you need to stop blaming everything else that you're using as a scapegoat. Everything you do or don't have right now is your fault. What you're happy or unhappy with is your fault. The life you will or won't have is also your fault. It all starts with you. You need to take action. You need to do something about it and stop blaming everything else. And that's it, guys. That is how you stop falling off the wagon all the time. This is a permanent fix. You will never do this ever again if you address what I've spoken about in this video. Now, as always, there is an email list in the description as well. Free mindset gems sent out multiple times a week to keep you aligned, to keep you thinking, to keep you aware. Free information, absorb it, guys. Take it in like a sponge. Never pass up free information. Guys, don't let your inconsistency kill all of your dreams, hopes, and ambition. You can sort this out so easily. I've been there. My clients have been there. I've helped people do this. I've done it myself. It's very easy to fix, guys. It really is. So let's go. Keep grinding, boys.